has put out there.
When you go to hospital.
And then we'll also explore the government announcements of trying to get some more teachers into the public sector employment and for the benefit of our children or for the benefit of our learners. Africa Education Watch observes with concern the government's decision to establish a college of education in Jomoro municipality. The decision appears strategically misaligned and lacks empirical justification given the following reasons. They say existing capacity at the local level. They also mention existing capacity in Western Region, national teacher education, excess capacity, graduate unemployment, abandoned and uncompleted projects. And those are among some of the reasoning that they assign to it. And they're calling on the Ministry of Education to reassess the justification for establishing a new college of education in Jomoro municipality and prioritize optimizing the capacity and resourcing of existing colleges of education, including removing admission quotas and also to expand intake where need is established. That's the Africa Education Watch's opinion, and they quote some figures as well. We'll get into the figures when we reach Kofi Asare on the phone line to try and understand why there's a pushback from them regarding the government's intention, or if you like, the proposal to have a college of education in Jomoro. That's a place close to Dr. Kwame Nkrumah's own hometown. Samuel Nkrumah was a member of parliament for Jomoro, for those who remember. And in fact, indeed, Jomoro is represented in parliament this day by a member of the NDC party. But they're asking questions. In fact, in terms of capacity that already exists in the Western region, they say there are already 4 colleges of education in the traditional Western region. And I'm sure you know that as of 2017, the Western North region was carved out of the Western region, which is part of the 6 new regions that were created to now bring the total administrative regions of the Republic of Ghana to 16. And he says that there are 4 colleges of education in the traditional Western region producing education graduates. In addition, the University of Cape Coast distance learning centers in the Western region are also producing graduate teachers for the basic schools. So he says, based on this fact, there should not be the intention to have a college of education in the Jomoro municipality. Goes on to say that, well, on the local level, Jomoro municipal borders Awin municipality, where Enche College of Education is one of the best in Ghana, which operates at a 30% below capacity due to admission gaps imposed by Ministry of Education in 2022. Those questions are being asked now. This was something that happened in 2022, but is now taking a biting effect in 2026. The Africa Education Watch also talks about the national teacher education excess capacity, where even with the 30% admission gaps imposed on the existing 46 public colleges of education, together with the University of Cape Coast, University of Education in Winneba, University of Ghana, and the University for Development Studies, public teacher education institutions are producing more than twice the number of teachers or the graduates that are required annually in Ghana, imposing a financial burden on the public purse. Talk about graduate unemployment, that over 60,000 licensed teachers have remained unemployed in Ghana since 2023, indicating a clear supply-demand imbalance. 60,000 since 2023. Establishing additional public college of education to produce more teacher graduates is therefore not labor market responsive, but adds to the graduate unemployment situation the government is struggling to manage, according to the Africa Education Watch. And so while teacher education is important, the government must focus more on aligning teacher trainee output with national teacher demand. Also, they highlight abandoned and uncompleted projects since 2012. And it said that Ghana's College of Education landscape have accumulated a significant number of stalled academic and residential projects. Strategic investments should therefore prioritize completing existing infrastructure, strengthening faculty, enhancing teacher learning resources, And based on these, they say there's also evidence, and considering the Ghana's estimated 16 billion, I beg your pardon, 16 billion Ghana cedis annual education financing gap, the decision to establish a new college of education in Jomoro municipality does not reflect prudent prioritization of scarce public resources. And they're calling on the Ministry of Education to reassess the justification for establishing a new college of education in Jomoro municipality and prioritize optimizing the capacity and resourcing of existing colleges of education, including removing admission quotas to expand intake where need is established. And those are the reasoning behind the Africa Education Watch saying that, well, you cannot at this point highlight and be determined to set up a college of education in the Jomoro constituency. Municipality, I should say, which encapsulates the constituency as well. I don't know what you think, but this is about education, and it's about our learners and our teachers. And we have a backlog of teachers at home presently. We'll try and speak to officialdom as well to ask them what the policy is. I mean, if our teachers are well qualified, they have written their licensure exam, they have passed every exam and assessment, should we be attempting to export them as we have done for health professionals as well in this country in the not so distant past? It's a question that's on my mind this morning. I'm sure that as a right thinking Ghanaian, you're also thinking along those same lines to ask those same questions regarding the furtherance of our educational system. Now, the bigger conversation is this: how are we getting these teachers that are trained from all these institutions, and how is it benefiting us eventually as a country in terms of where we want to get to? We want to produce more, we want to industrialize. We don't want people just to learn principles and formula by rote, but to apply them also in terms of a common sense approach to life and living it. In terms of setting up machinery, for example, in terms of making our lives easier, do it yourself, in terms of entrepreneurship drive, in terms of creating jobs for people, in terms of making lives easier, our bridges, foot bridges, vehicle bridges, ferries, and what have you. All these come to education being the bedrock, because if the education is warped or the foundation is shaky and feeble, we will have ourselves to blame in the future. Now, there's a report that Daniel Opoku, who's a senior labor correspondent, filed. I want you to take a listen, and then we'll get into a conversation with Kofi Asare.
Acknowledged the Education Minister, Harun Edrisu, acknowledged ongoing challenges with teacher recruitment gaps, which continue to affect effective education delivery across the country. Current figures indicate that more than 30,000 vacancies exist nationwide. In the 2026 budget, government has allocated over 39 billion cedis to the education sector, with a portion earmarked for teacher recruitment. Based on this, the minister confirmed that financial clearance has been granted for the recruitment of 7,000 teachers.
Trainee teachers from the 2022 to 2025 should feel easy to apply for this opportunity as we continue to work. At least on or before the 1st of July, the process should be over. They should be accepted on the GES system as teachers, accordingly recognized and posted, so that we'll be able to make justification for their salaries to be paid.
Harun Edrisu further reiterated that the recruitment portal will officially open on April 10 and close on July 1, 2026.
The GES should issue guidelines to support the recruitment process. We do not want over-subscription as is anticipated, and therefore My request would be, when your portal gets to 10, 12,000, close the portal, that other generation can follow the next opportunity that will follow, subject to approval from the Ministry of Finance. But make it competitive, decentralized, and into other areas.
Meanwhile, the public universities are also facing a shortage of lecturers. The Education Minister disclosed that financial clearance has been granted for the recruitment of 1,200 lecturers to address the situation.
Across the tertiary institutions, including our public universities, whether it's University of Ghana, University of Cape Coast, or Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, or it's UHAS, we would allow, as the approval reflects, some recruitment of 1,200 faculty members, and that will be distributed in a communication that will be issued to them by the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission. Students are to begin the process of making a determination of school choice, but that process is not to be completed until the results are finally announced and determined. So in the past, you had a situation where students determine and choose schools without knowing their aggregate level, and that affected the placement system. This time, we will give a mandatory period of 1 week after the results have been declared for students to confirm on the basis of their performance in the BECA what their first choices are. Government also recognizes that alumni play a significant role today in the survival and transformation of many of our schools across the country. Accordingly, a dedicated percentage will be given to alumni for purpose of placement in the revised CSP program. I pray that this will not be abused, just like the protocol is often abused. I'm aware that last year we got protocol requests as much as 60,000. Anybody in my shoes will struggle to honor those requests.
Yeah, you see. This
morning is on 92.7 Sunrise on 3FM.
I know you love me and I love you too. Yes, if I go back to JSS, I would have paid attention in class. If I go back, I wouldn't have looked.
Well, it takes the learners and the educators to make school fun. Joining me on the phone line now is Ayikwe Adokwe Awule. He's the Vice President of the Pre-Tertiary Teachers Union. Also, Kofi Asari is the Executive Director at Africa Education World. Gentlemen, good morning. Thank you for your time.
Hi, good morning. Good morning to the audience.
Great. Ayikwe, let me begin.
Good morning to all your listeners.
Ayikwe, let me begin this conversation with you. You heard the Minister for Education talking about placements and selection, etc. What are your views on what the Minister said?
Thank you very much. I think if I heard it clearly, it's about the 7,000 teachers who will be recruited, right?
That's right.
Okay. Now, first of all, let me emphasize that 7,000 is far below the expected number of teachers that are to be recruited to fill the vacancies that we have. But it is still good. 7,000 is okay. But I think Mr. Kofi Asari is there. He can give you the statistics and you will realize that at the end of the day, the 7,000 is far below. Now, the other problem and the clarification that we will need from the ministry, it's about the backlog from the college Education. Now we have the 2024 graduates who have also done their national service and they are waiting. The same applies to, I think, even 2023, 2024. They have concluded with their national service. They are waiting. And 2025, they are now doing their national service. So that backlog is also there. But it wasn't clear. The minister emphasized that those from colleges of education and then the universities that also train teachers are all supposed to apply. Does it mean that the government policy that they trumpeted before the election and the policy that is already in place has changed? That now when you are out of the colleges of education, you are on your own, although you've been fed and you've been given allowance, but at the end of the day, you should go around and go and apply if you are taking, so be it.
Is that the impression you get?
That is the impression. That is exactly. So we need a clarification from them so that we will know whether the backlog of over 40,000 that are there now will be given direct placement when they will be posted directly when they come out of the colleges of education, or there's a new policy. We need to be clear about that. Then the conversation can now go on so that we will know. We can just suppose this 7,000, whether they are going to the senior high school, the basic schools, or whatever, and know where we will really place the argument, whether it is enough or it's not. But the 7,000 is inadequate.
Kofi, do you agree? Do you disagree? What's on your mind? Hello, Kofi Asari.
Well, good morning. I don't know how many minutes I have here, but let me get. Okay, so I think that we must have a conversation about equitable teacher deployment in this country. It is when that conversation is had that we begin to appreciate that the economics and equity of teacher deployment and the dynamics of today's economy, brings in a paradigm shift from the era where college students expect that all of them will be posted after school. I think that era is far gone. We run an education system in Ghana where averagely we need 6,500 teachers every year to maintain equilibrium. Right. Listen very well. As we speak, we have 15,000 more primary and KG teachers that we need. That is one. Every year, about 6,000 leave the service. So what you need is to provide that 6,000 replacement every year to maintain system equilibrium.
Where do they live and go?
Some retire, some will resign, but attrition is about 6,000.
Okay.
And so our problem is not about recruiting more teachers every year. Our problem is not about absorbing College of Education cadets because they are completed college and have a license. Our problem is first how to redistribute the 15,000 surplus teachers in KG and primary. Redistribute them within the system, because even though we have surplus at the national level, if you go to the districts, we have deficits of about 30,000 classrooms without teachers. The meaning is that if we don't focus on the bigger elephant in the room, which is teacher redistribution, adding new numbers will be like the easy situation where you are just adding cost on inefficiencies. I take the northern region, and I won't talk about Greater Accra, because you see Greater Accra is the most urbanized, it's a South Africa. Let's go to the northern region, perhaps the third or the fourth biggest city, Tamale. Northern region, the total number of teachers in northern region, Tamale alone, that area, the Tamale and Sanarigu, the Tamale proper alone, they control about 40% of the total number of teachers in the whole northern region. Meanwhile, those two towns host only 25% of the student population in northern region. In Tamale and Sanarigu alone, we have a surplus of over 1,000 teachers in primary, in KG and GHS, in Tamale and Sanarigo alone. When in the district from Ushegu to Trepone to Tolong, all the way to Zanskotale, we have deficit running to about 2,000. And so the reality is that the challenge is how to redistribute existing teachers who were posted in a system that had no equity sense. And that is leading to financial waste, because we are paying teachers who are in the wrong places and are not in the right places. So every year, we will not be able to recruit 15,000 graduates from colleges. Those days are far gone. That is the first thing I want us to understand. Second thing is that today, the teacher is being recruited because he has a license or they have a license. It is not only college graduates who have licenses. Today, even KNUST, I'm saying even because they are not traditionally known to be an teacher education institution. Even KNUST is training teachers. UDS is training teachers. University of Ghana, they are training more teachers. So all our universities are training teachers. And if you add the total number of teachers being trained by the universities to the colleges, we are doing about 60K a year. That is about 4 times what we previously needed annually, and about 5 times what we will need today. So the days of if anybody tells you they will do automatic posting, it means that they don't understand the economic context. So that's the reality we are. That teacher deployment now has become competitive, and so we must break up for this regime. I mean, I'm talking about the regime of competitive teacher deployment, where Ghana will not just employ anybody because they are computer college, but Ghana will employ only the numbers that it needs. But most importantly, Ghana must focus on redistributing the 15,000 surplus so that some will go to that Tatali because they are sitting in urban and peri-urban centers. That is where we are now.
Interesting. Now, this picture that Kofi paints for us, it means that then we don't have the teachers in the right quantities that we need them, and so then the teachers will be burdened in the classroom. Is that the reality on the ground? Aikwe? Hello, Nia Aikwe? Yes, please work with me. Work with me. Did you hear my question, sir?
Please come again.
Okay, I need you to pay attention and work with me. We're working with
Okay.
time. Great. Now, I'm saying that Kofi paints a picture of an inadequate situation just like yours. And I'm saying that then that will mean that there'll be more learners than their educators, which also means that there'll be pressure on the teachers. And that could possibly make them cut corners and we will not be getting the best out of you. Is that the situation on the ground?
Yeah, that is exactly the situation on the ground. Because at the end of the day, you visit some regions and then you realize that the whole school has one teacher or one teacher taking 2 classes at the same time. It is not a policy, just that the situation demands that a teacher should handle 2 or 3 classes at the same time. So it is actually a problem. So we need to look at it. That is the situation. And I think for over 2 years now, there have not been any serious recruitment. Definitely, we know there are some underhand recruitments here and there. And I think recently, those who went on study leave with me came back and they've been posted. And now the 7,000 is also going to be posted. But as I said earlier, we need a clarity on this very thing. And my issue about the colleges of education, and definitely there's the need for all of us to sit down and then discuss this very matter. And it could be also due to political expediency, definitely, because they played politics with teacher training allowance, nursing training allowance, and at the end of the day, you are giving them allowances, you are feeding them, you are training them, and then they come out, and then now they are coming to compete with those who went to the various universities and trained themselves. Then why should you spend such huge sums of money giving them allowances? So let's be blunt and discuss this issue. Let's put those politics. Definitely the politicians will play politics with it. But at the end of the day, it is the taxpayers' money that is going down the drain. Though they are Ghanaians, but if we can train them and we cannot keep them and then we leave them, then at the end of the day, we need to look at that issue again.
I see. Kofi, now let's move on and talk about the government intention to set up a college of education in Jomoro. You have raised concerns, at least 5 pointers, saying that, well, that is not a priority. What should the priority be then?
Well, quickly, Johnny, so before we end this teacher deployment issue, I want to say that if the ministry is committed to what the president said, that the 7,000 teachers will be posted to only classrooms that need them in these deprived areas. What will convince me that we want to do something different this year from what has always been done in the past is that the Minister for Education must publish the quotas that they are awarding to every district, so that everybody will see that Treponi has been giving 200 teachers, Bushegu has been giving 100 teachers. Then based on that, we will monitor to see whether they have arrived and they are working there. That is what I want to say on the minister's position that the teachers will be taken to only schools where they are needed. Now, to the college issue, it does us into the point I just made. That Ghana at this point is producing 3 times more teachers than it needs. That is a fact. Okay. Now, number 2. In our 46 or 47 or so public college of education, you go there and there are more abandoned projects than completed projects. In many of them, there is no college of education without at least 2 or 3 abandoned projects in the past 10 years. Number 3, our college of education have admission quotas. In 2022-23, the Ministry of Education imposed admission quotas on all of them, 30%. So if NC College of Education was admitting 350, they are now doing about 250 or 280. So the meaning is that every college of education is operating at least at 30% under capacity. This is the baseline. A country producing 3 times more teachers than it needs, 1. 2, our colleges have more completed projects, listed all over, 2, and then 3. Our colleges are running on admission quotas, limiting intake because government must reduce the number of people it pays allowances to, and etc. Within this context, the ministry decides to build another college again. And 4. Teachers who completed college in 2022-23 are still at home, waiting to be recruited. 23-24, they are home. 24-25, they are finished. So we are unable to absorb even half of those who are completing college. Okay. Now, within this background, the government wants to build a new college of education in the Jomoro district. A district that shares border with Arwin. Arwin holds one of the most reputable colleges, which is called NC College. NC shares border. Arwin shares border with Jomoro. So our question is that, what is the justification for establishing a college in a district that shares border with another district college? And that's where are we even producing the kids to go? Where are we producing them to go? Because we already have 3 times our supply. And so are we giving them the project so that the product will be labor market relevant? Or we are just giving them the project because they want a college of education?
Well, the people in Jomoro would say that you are putting sand in their gari because as we will feel, if they also get one, that's good for them, no?
If they get one to do what? The people will finish and they will still struggle, like the discussion I'm having with my colleague. They have one to do what? If there are 100 people who want to go to college in Jomoro, if you go to NC, some of the students at NC are from Jomoro. Has anyone been denied admission from NC College of Education from Jomoro? No. If you want NC to take more, remove the admission cap. They can take 100 more students in a year. But the reality of the situation is that this is a political promise that was made during the campaign. It is not as though it's an education issue. It's not an education issue. So I think that, look, we need to come up to terms with certain things. There's one thing delivering a project, and one thing delivering a project that will impact on the lives of the people of tomorrow. If I had the capacity to advise the Ministry of Education and the government of Ghana and the good people of tomorrow, and I have worked in those areas and I started telling very well, I would recommend that instead of building a college of education for tomorrow, where teachers will complete and stay for 4 years without a job, I would rather request that they build a polytechnic, not a secondary, a polytechnic in Domoro. There are about 10, 12 technical institutes between Agim all the way through, that is Mait, all the way through Elembele to Domoro. And then other border districts like Awin, Swaman, Awin and all that. There are about 14 technical institutes within that enclave alone. If we are able to build a polytechnic, after collapsing all our polytechnic universities, we still have polytechnic, so we don't have institutions directly doing middle-level manpower development in CVET, focusing on that alone. We don't have polytechnic. If we can build a polytechnic there, it will provide a tremendous opportunity for skills training and skills development in the heart of Jomo. And looking at the Jomo economy, I'm telling you that the benefits will be far, 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 far more to Jomo and the surrounding districts than having a college of education which will produce teachers to add to the surplus number of teacher graduates in Ghana who don't have jobs to do. I'm being honest. So maybe that conversation perhaps, we intend to write a proposal to the presidency.
Right.
That we suggest that this project be considered as a polytechnic. Okay, for the people of Jomo. And to add more economic value to their lives than a college of education.
I see.
If they want to get more space to enter college, NC is just a district away. They can remove the admission quota on NC, allow NC to admit 350, and then everybody will have access. If there's somebody who has access to college education in Domoro, they can have access to NC. Right. I think this could be done. So we will do the proposal and submit it to the government. If they listen, that's fine. If they don't, that's fine.
I hear you. Ayikwe, what's your view on this as well? Should the government go ahead and set up this college of education, or should they convert it into a polytechnic or a technical university, as Kofi Asare has said? Or what do you think the government should do?
Thank you very much. I think the discussion that we've just had and from my senior brother, it is clear that we don't need a college of education again. We don't need that one again. Even there are about 46 that is being handled now. Go there and go and look at infrastructure. Some of them, the infrastructure is far below even that of a senior high school. But it is a college of education. They are regarded as a tertiary institution, and they are churning out a lot of teachers. And they've not been posted. So why establish more colleges of education? So I think I will 100% back my brother. And then I think whatever he does will support it 100%. Is that to say, Nyayikwe, that the government or the ministry did not have a stakeholder engagement with you and other stakeholders before announcing this initiative? We have not had any discussion on that, and definitely it is not within their right to even have a discussion with that. It is not. They may decide to have a discussion with us on this matter or not, but I don't think it is needed now. Maybe it is due to pressure from the people there, and maybe during the campaign, maybe he promised them that when I become the president, I will do it for you. But let's be real. Let's look into the reality now, and I think we should take the advice that is coming from my brother.
Kofi, now, where do we go from here? How soon should we expect this proposal from you to government? Because it does appear that there's been some euphoria in the Jomoro municipality regarding the announcement to have a teacher training college there, or a college of education there. You are saying, well, it's not priority. We should convert it into something else. How soon should we expect this proposal from you to government so that government may consider this?
Yesterday I put together a team to start working on the proposal. So immediately after I will submit the proposal to the minister. Let me indicate that, yes, it is good for development projects to come to communities. Yes, when our local people make demands, we must listen. But as experts, okay, in human capital development, we must also guide them in listening to ensure that the project we deliver actually provides good value for money and sustainable livelihood for the people. All the people want there is development, is human capital development. And I believe that having alternative suggestions about how to better enhance the human capital through skills development. You see, the whole area, the only technical university there is in Takoradi. Okay. And Takoradi University, Technical University is one of the biggest technical universities in terms of numbers. Okay, it is virtually booked. And so, if we have a polytechnic, not a technical university, but a polytechnic, doing HND program, practical, much more industrial-related programs in Jomoro, or from Enzima East, all the way to Jomoro, all the technical institutes there, including Kikam, all the technical institutes in about 9 districts, will now not have to put pressure to go and do HND programs or pre-tertiary programs, in Takoradi Technical University. They will come to that polytechnic. So, when the product is ready, we'll send a copy, have a conversation on media general platforms as well. But I just to say that, yes, you see, it's not everything that the ministry will consult us. They don't have, it's not a right, it's not a requirement that they are consult everybody in the institution. Okay, but where they don't consult, and we are informed, we heard about it on the media. When we are informed, we will also make a suggestion. And so it is not a rule that every.
Great. I think your point is made, Kofi. Thank you. Now, in wrapping up this conversation, Aikwe, let me ask you this before I let you go. The Ghana Armed Forces this morning is launching an initiative to zoom into education for special needs people, particularly children living on the autism spectrum. You are the Vice President of the Pre-Tertiary Teachers Union. What are your views about what the Ghana Armed Forces wants to do beginning today?
I think it is something that is very much laudable. I think there was a policy of inclusive education where the schools should be safe schools, so there is already a policy on it, how those with disability, those who are challenged, and even those who are capable will all be within one school environment and everybody will see themselves as one. So I think this initiative is putting that policy into action, and it is very much laudable. I think we will go and support them in this very aspect.
Thank you. Kofi, what are your thoughts? Hello, Kofi Asare, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. I think it's a good idea. A lot of it depends on how implementation is done. A lot of these things depend on how implementation is done, but largely, yeah.
Sunrise on 3 FM, the best in the
Unfortunately, we lost Kofi Asare there as well, and Nia Ikwe, but we've been speaking to the two gentlemen relative to an announcement by the Education Minister of some 7,000 teachers to be enrolled onto the state employment. And, well, they say the numbers are inadequate, and that's the intended College of Education to set up in Jomoro is a misplaced priority. Should actually be a technical university so that the people could benefit some more. Now, Kofi Asare is Executive Director of the Africa Education Watch, and Ni Aikwe Adokwe Awule is the Vice President of the Pre-Tertiary Teachers Union. It's some 12 minutes after 9 here on Sunrise on 3FM 92.7 W. Abankom of the Ghana Military Police, good morning to you. And all my friends at Bemakam, good morning to you. And we'll be at Bema Hall this morning at 11 a.m. For the all-important program. We'll take a quick break. When we return from this break, there's more here on Sunrise on 3FM 92.7. because we know domestically the impact is already being felt. Data from the Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies, for example, reveal that fuel prices have gone up. Diesel and petrol. The government has signaled a possible fuel levy relief, because that's been the call on the side of the minority that, well, the 1 cedi on every liter should become a thing of the past to cushion the people. Questions have been asked as to how the energy sector will be funded if that tax is taking off. But there's also conversation about a heavy tax component in fuel pricing. The president has said something will be done about it. At the heart of it is also the rising cost of living for consumers of fuel, those who join the regular Trotskys and taxi. Talk about inflation and economic pressures that have dropped, but because of this, all thanks to Donald Trump, looking for fight where there's no fight, we now all have to bear the brunt. Policy trade-offs, global response and demand. Energy security now a national priority. We're told we have some fuel there in stock for us for about 5 weeks.
Thank you so much.
What does the GPRTU? When I was growing up, there's a man called Uncle Victor. We used to call it Jiprutu of Tuk. The GPRTU of TUC. It's not Jiprutu of Tuk. Mr. Samuel Amwa works with the GPRTU and he joins us on the phone line. Mr. Amwa, good morning to you. Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning.
Your line, you would have to move away from the trotro.
Okay, so let me just...
Yes, please move away from the
let
trotro.
me position myself. Hear me now.
It's still not too
Is it
clear.
quite better?
It's breaking. It's better. It's better than before.
Better. All right, sure.
Are fuel prices going up? Yes, but our transport price is going to go up. You tell me.
Thank you very much for having me.
The line is not clear. I'm sorry about that.
Line is not clear.
Yes, it's not. It's not. Let's try and call you back. Let's call you back, please. Let's call you back.
Yes,
Great.
I want to be
So please call him back. Let's try and find him back on the phone line. Some 24 minutes after 9 here on Sunrise on 3FM 92.7. The new fuel prices, we know petrol is selling at 15 cedis 19 pesos. Diesel is selling at 17 cedis 85 pesos. And it comes with a photo of the NPA boss, Godwin Eduji Tamakolo Esquire, with John Jenapo, PhD. Two men running our energy sector. Also, there's John in there as well as Edward Bauer.
Sunrise on 3FM, the best in the morning.
Bassa, bassa, bassa. Afri song, mani me song. Saruma ye ye ye, saruma ye ye ye, saruma ye ye.
If you're wondering why the fuel prices have gone up, the adjustments follow a revision of the price floor by the National Petroleum Authority, which raised petrol from 11 cedis 57 pesos to 13 cedis 30 pesos, and diesel from 14 cedis 35 pesos to 17 cedis 10 pesos in just 2 weeks. We also know that this affects consumers because the implications are far-reaching. Transport operators have hinted that transport fares may go up. That's why we want to find out from the GPRTU. We'll work the phone lines. As soon as it's clear, good to go, we will fire up. But while we try to fix the phone lines on the GPRTU conversation,
You know the shame, plenty husband is too much. A plenty of friends.
Sunrise on 3
Kwame Ejapong is the PRO of the National Association of Packaged Water Producers. Kwame, good morning. Thank you for your time.
Good morning.
We woke up this morning to read from you that there's a possibility of the sachet water that, as they say on the street, when they take hold body, will also go up in terms of their prices. Why?
Well, I thought it was expected, rather.
When we have inflation dropping to less than 4%, we have exchange rates good, when we have lending rates at the banks, and why are you going to do that to us? Why? You tell us why.
Well, the reason is simple. You have seen that the pumps are registering. I'm talking about fuel going as high as almost 18 cedis
right.
At the pumps, and petrol as well. You have seen that there's a war raging in the Middle East, particularly in Iran, and then around Iran, Kuwait, and all its neighbors. The materials that we use for our water production, the plastics, they are all petroleum based, and our producers are finding it difficult to get the materials because the oil is in very short supply. So we are not getting those we buy the materials from are not getting their supply. In fact, some of the suppliers to our region here have declared force majeure. So some of them have cancelled their contracts. So the suppliers are very limited. Those that are coming in, the prices have, gone high, skyrocketed. And therefore, if we want to stay in business, we have no option than to increase the price as well, because they have charges almost, in some cases, they are almost double.
Okay.
So we have no option than also to, increase our prices. Basically, these are the issues that have forced us. So
I understand that the new prices as follows: X factory prices will be 8 cedis
yes, I was going
per
to go
bag
there.
of 500 ml times 30 liters. We'll buy that in the truck for 10 cedis per bag. Maximum retail price should be 15 cedis per bag. Is it not?
Let me explain that.
Yeah,
let me explain that.
Mm-hmm.
The X factory price means when you drive or you walk to any of the factories and you want to buy a bag of 30 sachets, you pay 8 cedis for one bag. If we put it in the truck and send it to your outfit or your home or wherever, you pay 10 cedis. But depending on where the store is or where we send it to you, some people are selling in kiosks, some are selling in ordinary shops, some are selling in supermarkets, some are selling in malls. Depending on where the person is selling it, the person's overhead may be higher. So if the person is selling in a kiosk, the overhead may not be as high as the person selling in a mall, where the rent and everything, the labor that the person will be incurring will be far higher. So the person may add, say, 1 cedi and sell it at, say, 11 cedis. Some may sell it, say, 12 cedis. So that may explain why we've given an upper limit of up to 15 cedis. Then one of the reasons...
But you are complaining about prices going up to double on what you need to produce the water. 15 cedis is more of a double of 8 cedis. That's the X factory.
Yeah, that is what
price.
I'm trying to explain. So
I get your understanding, but I'm saying that if you are selling it at the factory for the retailer at 8 cedis, the wholesale price, if you will, and the person has a limit to sell it up to 15 cedis depending on where they are retailing it from.
Hold your breath a little.
Allow me to ask my question, please. You don't dictate how I ask my questions, please. You have the answers. Now I'm saying that X factory price is 8 cedis per bag. That is if I come to the factory to come and buy. Is that correct? If now somebody is a retailer and puts it in a truck and is roaming around like we see in Aboboya and all of that, that will sell at 10 cedis. And then you say there's a maximum retail price of 15 cedis. That's almost a double of the 8 cedis. And you say that's the maximum based on where they are selling it from. And I'm asking you are just complaining about double. Are you not also selling to us at double or encouraging people to sell to us at double? That's my question.
Okay. You ready for my answer?
I'm all ears, sir.
Okay.
The
Okay.
best in the morning.
We are not saying that
92.7
the water that anybody is selling should be sold at 15. That's not what we are saying. What we are saying is that the figures we have given, 8 and 10, I'm trying to explain that depending on where the shop is, the person can sell it for, say, 11 or, say, around, say, 12. While we are giving an upper limit of 15, it's that. For example, the war in the Middle East, nobody knows when it's coming to an end. But if the war were to come to an end even today, I listened to BBC. They were telling us that if the war were to come to an end today, and they gave an instance in Kuwait and United Arab Emirates, some of their facilities that have been bombed, it will take 4 years before they come to their normal production levels. 4 years. So we are likely to have the effect for a very long time. That is what BBC was reporting. So in taking things into consideration, we will have to live with some of the effects for a very long time. So we are saying that it is most likely that the effect might stay with us for a very long time. So in considering this, we should have an upper limit that in case that things go that long, we don't hope that we will go beyond 15. So in the unlikely effect that it goes that long, we don't hope to go beyond 15. That's why we are setting a recommended price of 15 cedis. We are not saying everybody should go and be selling. If somebody is selling a 10 and you say you want to sell a 15, your business will collapse because nobody will buy it. The fact that we are saying 15 doesn't mean that when you go you sell a 14, then everybody will jump to sell the 14. People are rational. Right. People are reasonable. So if you are selling it for 10, another person sells for 11, and you are all within the same space, the 11 will end up not selling. So we are hoping that if even in the event that the war stays on for a long time and you want to play safe, you can migrate up to about 15. That is what we are saying.
Okay.
We are not saying sell 15. If you want to sell 15 and sell, your business will collapse.
Okay. Now, now presently, a sachet water sells for what, 50 pesos? Is that the case?
Yes.
How much is it then going to sell for now if the prices have shot up?
Those who are selling for 50 pesos, if you sell for 50 pesos currently, if you buy it for say 10 cedis and you retail it at 50 pesos, you are already collecting 15 cedis. So they have been collecting their 15 cedis for a long time, even when they were selling for 8 cedis. So there's room for them to play with, even with the current 50 pesos. There's room. They have been having enough room to play with. So if even they go to 12 cities or 10 cities or 11 cities, there's still room. So we don't expect that the 50 pesos will be increased. But if it happens that it increases to say 13, whatever, then we may have to call the people who chill it and who sell. We'll sit down with them. We have some communication with them, and then we all think of whether we'll go to 60 pesos or whatever. But for now, there's room for them to be able to make some margin.
And again, the conversation about our legal tender, the coins. Yeah, you and I know how traders reject flatly 20 pesos coins, 10 pesos coins, 5 pesos coin, and even a 1 peso coin. And that's what, in most cases, has been stated, some drivers and some mates going against what the GPRTU dictates to charge and round up figures, for fares. Is that not going to be a problem in this particular instance when people are rejecting 20 pesos, 10 pesos, 5 pesos?
Well, that will be up to the law enforcers. Bank of Ghana, we don't mint coins. We do not enforce those laws. It is the Bank of Ghana and the security agencies who have to make sure that legal tender is accepted. If it is not accepted, it is not the sachet water seller who has to go and enforce it. It is Bank of Ghana and the security agencies who have to enforce it. If they are not able to enforce it, it doesn't lie in our bosom and in our mouth to be able to enforce it. So that one, I think that question should be directed to Bank of Ghana and the security agencies. Sorry about that.
I thank you very much indeed for your time, Kwame Ejapon in
Yemu bebre your fu a yede ye to di gu ye kam. Te say me shell na me yede. Me to. E say shell and then I think it's 15 plus. And I'm got to fu me to 45 liters. And then I'm almost 5 something. Oh. 500 cities. Yeah, 5 something. Because me to and I think it's 15 points. 15 points. There. Oh. Me to and I'm 5 something. And you're fine. Obey you my pono. Go call your load 100 cities near mine. It imagine so what to fu 40 liters. I would call. Opon unya hwenye dey antu botom tie pa cho aba no onye bibi mfa man
enti eno sa na mo beto lorry fam ana
se dey se ya beto lorry fam se antu lorry fam no dey mintumi nya dey enka ho asem because me nim fo no me say na nim dey ba sankomutu man akani beje pa because ya bre obey adwuma pon na diska nyina to fu unya wan siri kra nya dey enfa nto no me to me girls bebre ama me
enye ye ho na be fa dia show girls so
enu dey mom ba aja de obia ya odididi hu na wose unya so hu wanya sori nko ade ochopon ni obi botom semika enye se me mpranfo
Wait, Johnny. So let's speak to this man also. Pacho, have you heard about the fuel price increment when you went to the fuel pumps? Did you experience the same thing?
And fuel price, you know, betum yanti in Cambia, but I think that was Tuesday, and who said fuel price on our cost Roma tomato once. It's a bonus and a hawk a crabba. By any dance when him say every US photo con now or Muyano, and a ma a bar and in a basa, and secondly so. And I say you to lorry fare him, but you're paying for no so any young car here. It's to me for your pet and fun too. I buy a train and penny for back canoe, and now you're better so at the year Juma.
Now, see, I take your fuel prices, so you anticipate more to lorry first.
Maybe at Tisoda. Fuel price in this also a buff from no. Obekaya Titiso. Yeah, that was last year. Says that about. Price in Adiba last year, and yet for a price and also once. And it seems that now, after you now, yeah, she say, be a baby, and I say, baby. And a spare person also not a cost almost instead of say, almost Tisuman, almost I feel no almost. Okonas Okoto, Ebia Okoto Voxy, Wunyama, Obakono, excavate and money artist. Yes, you to me, excavate and for Ember Flexi Voxy. And almost all matters, so we will excavate and on matters.
And it means that yet if you are so crowd, it more than for from most chance and more that solar fanny.
That didn't none a kaboom. Nin none a kaboom, edit so. And I say, the tomb. There be set Bakuba for my shed to do an above from no, and edit so. Nay, I sank to do an acosorono, near their tomb. But I saw chef for listen acosrona, automatically I say a tomb.
And they also be no, I'm them out saying.
And then me nyanko toeda, but me to Endra Wednesday, and I'm through Kumasi Bakra. Na me car tank need a half, negage need a half. But could you believe some to 525 cedis and sign a yama at the half tank? Then imagine say at that low tank. Let's imagine how I do a metal.
First, Nanka better say answer when you're full.
Oh, first, me say at that half tank and you say, be a matter be 300 cedis. Now, yama. But I say half tank, by me to 525 cedis. I will go in. I will go to match your oil with a metal and so I will just so. Aha. Oh.
You've been hearing some of these drivers. They tell me that yes, they know fuel prices have increased. They are also looking forward to communication from the leadership of the unions on whether they should increase prices of transport fares or not. Pacho, also we a driver. What's your two petrol? Mutobi at the mouth saying, Ojin is saying.
Pacho, Mitobi, mi frehano eko kumase, mi 50. Na Mitobi no, me kotono or koko. Mito 6 million and shiti. Enti fu ene de slab by say. On so na on teso ma kakra na ya enso mrantie a ye wa ye adwuma no yetimi nkobokro no enso kakra e benya ne ye yire ne ya na ase ne ye ma me munsu bedidi no on teso ne spare parts no even black band am koto me ton 3.5 me ton 3.5 plus do be ya giska eno mane board intimi nto kra fu ene boy den you see me fu ene the half tank se me kai me say kwa. This is almost 400 cities, and so I didn't make Kumasi. Into Australia, by say on Shasuno on Domi and Boy, Serena.
Sunrise
So we have another driver also here. We'll get some of the passengers to also ask from them how they are also feeling about this. Pasha, also your driver.
But I'm a driver. Me friend DSP Sapon. Mommy, to be honest, your bread within the short time, your bread. Me a sukran can meet me soon. First, me conquer I'm 2 for 4.5, 400. You say I'm 2 for 700 grana. Me 2 for 700 grana. And yama. Obeko babasuna usike nyina. I say I come usike nyina 15 cities, 25 cities. Any ska come bottom. Any same bottom. Me hold dia menye. Sabi nka ebedi sister nka so nkomo hwe na nkomo yede. Omo increase price akran so yempen for say. Nya dia e be yenye na o ma fe na.
It's mu dem pese yen tutum mamu.
Ya tumu ma ya nka yepe because sabi aban we ba ye no. O ma do afọ nyoma nyina ya dey. Ekwa fam so kwa boso kan ya no ma bi anko fam. It's a break bands. First na turn by 100 cities. It's a 200 cities. Any more dem kwa. E kire dem by. Ansana de obe fix so yede. Etan so kwa ho. And I acquire fast con corner soon. Almost on the expressway, 777. Me to me in the expressway, no. And who has a say? And you don't bypass, or see no bypass, Conongo bypass, no bypass. Now, no, some more complete. Nina machine is soon. Nina, by my gun is scanning. Yeah, that's who be jacked one of our quack. I said, I'm saying, I'm one driver. What I say, bro, it's our cocoa baby. Me can't say me tie up. I'm going to say me tie because my Anthony was on me fault. A quine yet. Obeko baba no aso ko workshop o kana nim gigi anya bibia na akwa obebo ka na mane ka is express has over o to mi no anton kra betuma ton be 1000 ansa na wasan so afix
mo kanya ma we nyina bom asamo hu some betu lawyer fan mu na asamo ntu
ni ma we nyina kra access kra na si afu ani titiri unu kra ambo no ana awie mo.
So those are some views on the streets. Grace Hamoajiman there, trying to find out from drivers. Mr. Amoa is joining us on the phone line. He's the General Secretary of the GPRTU. Sir, welcome back. These are views of your drivers. They are complaining bitterly about the price of fuel, the price of spare parts, and other conditions. Are they speaking the truth that you know?
Yeah, thank you very much for having me. Let me quickly correct the position. I am the Deputy National PRO.
Right.
I think if
Deputy
I
National
overheard you,
PRO, that's fine.
General Secretary.
Great. Deputy National PRO.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah, Deputy National PRO. Okay. Yeah, so, all right, so that's fine. Yes, I heard from the drivers, and we are also doing the same business. So we also share their concern. What they are saying is 100% right. They say all the components we are using has gone up. Spare parts has never been reduced, as a driver says. Likewise, insurance policies, the third-party premium has also been increased. Just last February, Sprinter buses, where the 23-seater passenger bus was paying, they were paying, I think, they were paying 933, and now it has been increased to 1,194. Likewise, the vehicle that takes 15 passengers, it was 837. Now they are paying 995. Taxis were paying 701. They are now paying 835. So all the insurance policies has gone up. Likewise, the DVLA charges has also gone up. So the only thing that we're relying on is the petroleum product, and where it is now, it's unbearable. We normally use, a percentage threshold before we come up with, calculation of our transfer fare adjustment. During the middle price window, when the fuel price, the diesel hit around 14 cedis thereabout, and the petrol too was around 12 cedis thereabout, we were supposed to, come up with an increment. But we didn't do that because we knew very well that what we are seeing now is in the result of the war between Israel, America, and Iran. And we were hoping that maybe going forward, the discussion we have with the government, we were thinking that going forward, maybe something can be done so that during this recent price window, we will not see what we are seeing now. But here we are. Diesel is now over 17 cedis. Petrol is also now over 15 cedis. Now the drivers are mounting serious pressure on the leadership of GPRTU. So what we decided on
have you decided to increase fuel the transport fares?
Yes. Hopefully, what we are saying now is we are asking the government, to scrap some of the taxes that we are paying on the petroleum product, cushiness. All right, but should they fail to do that, then we will have no option.
Which taxes are these? Which taxes are you asking government to scrap? Can you name them?
Yeah, we are not specifying the taxes, but all we know is that government has about 13 taxes on the petroleum product.
Right.
Now we are not in a normal season. we are in a hardship, era, and we know very well that when it happens like that, there are sacrifices that we all do. So government has to see to all these 13 taxes, any of them that we think he can sacrifice, so that the fuel price will come down for us. And then
sorry, Mr. Moore, sorry, you are asking for something. You need to know specifically what you're asking for. Every task, tax has a specific task, and I'm sure that you are very much aware of, why the taxes were imposed, because you are major stakeholders. So if you're asking for a tax to be scrapped or some taxes to be scrapped, you should be very specific on the ones that you're asking to be scrapped. Then government can come to the table, and some of us can help with the advocacy. Yes?
Yes, we earlier mentioned, we know very well that when they brought this recent levy, 1 Ghana cedi, they explained to us, if you recall, we agitated, we complained that government should not even brought it, of which they explained to us that, it's because of the energy sector. They have to, get that money to, help sustain our electricity. That is why they brought that one. The reason why we say we don't want to be specific. Yes, if the government says, they can sacrifice the D-levy, is quite understandable. Then we also targeted a price stabilization and recovery levy. That levy itself, was brought just to, stabilize the petroleum product. Whenever prices of fuel goes high, at the outside world, then they use that money to cushion it. But we are not seeing that. So these are some of the taxes that we think that if the government can just take them off, just suspend it for some time. When the war comes down, then we know very well that the dollar rate is quite down. But if, had it not been this war, the fuel price wouldn't have gotten to where it is now. So when it happens that the war comes down and the fuel price comes down, they can bring it back. Else, we have no option than to increase it.
And so when is this increment going to happen, give or take, because the fuel prices have changed?
Yeah, we earlier gave government 48 hours, which is elapsing by the close of today. We had wanted to even meet the transport minister yesterday, but he couldn't come on because we learned that he's on a different mission, and that hopefully by today will be in office. We are waiting for his call to see if our plea has been accepted. Then whatever we hear from them is two things: either they will agree to reduce some of the taxes for us to see the reflection at the pump. If not, through the normal procedure that we normally use, by checking on the spare parts, the lubricant, the taxes, and the petroleum product, the percentage, you put them together, then we'll submit our report to, our proposal to the transport ministry. Then we'll negotiate. Then whatever percentage fair increment that we'll get, then we'll bring it out for our drivers and our clients.
By what percentage are you aiming at?
At the moment, we can't mention it now. The reason being that normally when we first come up with a percentage, sometimes some of the drivers, they capitalize on that, and before we realize, but because, it's not every percentage that we propose that when we go for negotiation, we get them. So we just want to, handle it ourselves, go to the negotiation table with whatever percentage that we propose. At the close of the day, whatever percentage we agreed upon, we'll bring it out for, everyone to hear.
Will this percentage that you are thinking in your head but don't want to say now be commensurate with the percentage of fuel prices increase?
I want you to come again. I didn't get that clear.
This percentage that you are thinking about but you cannot tell us, or which you know but you can't tell us now for obvious reasons, is it going to be matching along with the percentage of the fuel price increase that we've seen in the last few hours?
Yes, perfectly. It's not even only the percentage on the fuel product. We also consider spare parts, lubricants, and taxes as well.
Oh, but spare parts prices we're told have been reduced to, or
never. Let me correct that. For the benefit of your listeners, you see, there are also kind of spare parts dealers. They came out that some parts have been reduced. We met them. We have had a series of meetings with them. Their chairman, Mr. Henry Ocho, is my good friend. Their PRO, Techiado, is my good friend. We meet all the time. There was a meeting with the trade ministry. We brought some list of parts that they have reduced. And our side was not found in them. We are using Sprinter buses, we are using the Toyota, the Nissan buses. Those are the vehicles that we use to run our businesses. We don't use Land Cruiser DA to do our business. We don't use Mercedes-Benz, SUVs and all that. We don't use them. So if you come up with a reduction of those parts and you don't reduce that of Sprinter and Toyota buses and Nissan buses, then it means you've done nothing. The explanation they gave us was that those parts that we are using, it's difficult for them to get. That is why they cannot be able to reduce those ones. So it's clear, they know it, that those parts have never been reduced.
I see. Well, I thank you very much indeed for your time, Mr. Samuel Amoah is the Deputy PR of the GPRTU of TUC. We're grateful that you could join us here this morning. Fuel prices up, pure water prices up, transport fares to go up. Big Ghana we day. Big Ghana we day. Yeah.
The pure water guy we spoke with. I was listening to him and I was, Charlie, it's so preposterous, so inconsiderate.
The guy said they are fighting. They can't find their polymers to buy. So, Charlie, you for pay.
Now of all times.
Yeah, you for pay. Meanwhile, Fela says water has no enemy.
Now of all times,
you for pay.
Now that we are fighting a war we are not supposed to be fighting, there's a time you say you want to increase.
Thanks to Donald Trump.
And you know that the moment you increase the wholesale price, automatically.
Yep.
Meanwhile, he admits in that submission, in response to one of your questions, that the people were already overcharging.
That's right. They
benefiting
were benefiting
of water.
Yeah.
So he knew that, or they know
Yeah.
that the retailers are overpricing the
and
thing.
they've even set the maximum or ceiling price to almost a double of what the factory price is.
The factory price.
Because if you're asking people that they can sell up to 15 cedis and the factory price is 8 cedis, that's a double. Meanwhile, you are complaining about the double price in your production.
That was another reckless response he gave. He said some people can decide to sell it this, others can decide to sell it that.
Depending on where they are selling it.
There's no uniformity.
No, there's.
I can do whatever I like. I mean, how do you run the space like that?
And he was asking me to take my time. Me that I've been drinking water since morning, I should take my time. Yeah.
So inconsiderate.
I struggle to see how the price can increase. Maybe they are seeking to make a case for wholesalers. But for the 50 pesos sachet, I struggle to see how it can go up because people are refusing to
the previous 50 pesos price. It wasn't supposed to sell at 50 pesos.
Exactly. It's the point
it
I
was supposed to sell lesser than 50 pesos.
It was 30 pesos, 40 pesos.
But people were not accepting the one peso coin, 5, so they rounded up. Pretty much like what trucker and taxi drivers do.
Yes. Now, if transport fares, as you were speaking to the deputy PR, are to go up, and it is 20 pesos, and the fare is supposed to be 9.5.
Yeah.
Or
9.3.
9.3. Also is 9.5.
9.5, yeah. So
because they don't want.
So they are taking 2 pesos off 20 pesos off every trip.
Yes.
That's money that they have not budgeted for, but they are chopping.
But and they don't see anything wrong with it.
No.
When you go to the fuel computations, the margins and what have you, they are in pesos, 20, 10.
So that's why
that is what the government collects, and it becomes huge money, and then they will use it.
So that's what I asked him.
You are collecting 20 pesos off every trip.
Yeah.
Sometimes 40, because when you round it can be 9.10. Don't know it's 50 pesos. And in certain cases, now when they increase the transport fares, if it's 10%, they'll just automatically assume that it is 1 cedi.
Yeah. 1 cedi. And the inability of the Bank of Ghana and the Ghana Police Service
to enforce
the actual prices. And you see, they have succeeded. Market women, pure water sellers, trotro drivers, trotro mates, taxi drivers, people who sell by the road, they have all succeeded in making sure that 20 pesos 10 pesos,
The 1
5
peso will be a
pesos,
bobo.
1 peso is off.
Edged out of the system.
When you present it to them, they will tell you they won't accept it.
Someone was even telling me 50 pesos now is endangered.
Do you know that even the 2 CD note is off the market?
Yeah.
You will find 1 CD, you will find 5 CDs,
But
you will
not
find
the
10
2 Ghana.
CDs, 20, 50, 100, 200.
I
2
think
CDs note, you will find
the
it.
note was deliberately phased out by the
Sunrise on
BOG.
3FM. The best
That I
in the
recall because
morning.
they said it was a celebratory notes in honor of
I
Sachet,
recall that.
right? And so that was phased out. But the point you make about a lack of enforcement, you see, and people don't realize it has a direct bearing on the
But you see, when the
conversations
Bank of Ghana says that, it also raises questions about the 5 CD notes. Have you noticed that there are 3 different strands of 5 CD
so
notes?
there was one
There's a
which
larger,
was to
there's a larger
commemorate.
one.
There was one which was supposed to commemorate a certain celebration,
yes.
which is supposed to have been faded out as well.
It's
I
there.
haven't observed that.
No,
Oh,
there are
three
there are
actually.
3. So there's one that is very big. There's one that is smaller than that, and so it's like small, smaller, smallest, or big, bigger, biggest, if you will. There are 3
Then
notes.
listeners should send me 5 CD notes. Let me compare.
There are 5
And
CDs
see
on the
something.
market. Sure.
You see,
It can-
this is exactly the same
how the
mentality
trot
that the
drivers
trot drivers
and the pure water drivers.
I'm not saying they'll be sending 5 CDs from wherever. If you just need the 3, and I'm saying the 3 when it comes, that's just 15.
No, but it's not
If they
just
are
3. I said
sending
they should send
in droves.
me.
In droves.
If they are sending in droves, that's a different conversation.
But you see, the ladies at the back were just talking about the 10 pesos and the 20 pesos. And my simple response was, if I buy something from you and you give me attitude over 20 pesos, it will shock you. I will walk away with both the item and the money.
Atashayama.
I'll vanish. No, but you see, it is not fair to me.
It's a serious.
I did not manufacture the money.
Yesterday I
And
bought.
somebody gave it to me. I took it. I'm relaying it to you to also onwardly
take it there to.
When we finish, let's talk about the food vendors.
Sunrise on 3FM.
When you buy from
the
them,
best
so
in the morning.
only 1 CD, 1 CD are coming off. Or mini 5 CDs or 5 CDs. And every time they are doing that one is a conversation for another day.
I've developed.
No, that one is a we'll tackle it.
So you know what happens? I think about, was it 2-3 weeks ago, I had 20 peso coins. In fact, I was doing some cleanup
and you found
I found plenty, so I gathered them. I went to a cocoa seller and I said, "Oh, man, cocoa." But before she started scooping the thing, I showed her my money, and she said, "Wait, you mean to me?" So I left it. I did about 3 different spots. Now,
and they're all mint minje.
Yes, but there's a friend of mine who sells fresh fruit juice. Educated. I gave her the money and she took it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I said, "Why did you take it?" She said, "Oh, it's not a problem. I'll just take it to the bank and go and give it to the bank."
I'm sure it's not because you are friends.
No. In fact, the third cocoa seller is also my friend Pan, who was taking care of the thing for her mother.
What you should have done is you let them tie the cuckoo, you take it now.
That
you
is
bite
exactly
it.
what I would
Then
do.
You bite
Then
it.
you say, "This is my money." Oh, Jolly.
bro, I mean to me now. Where pen am I? They'll say, "Oh, they're fuck or children now." They're baby say, "Oh,
cocoa." Anyway, but the enforcement has to happen.
It has to. Even if we have to send out a task force to arrest people, we should do that.
It has to happen.
We should do that.
Birthdays now.
Happy birthday.